The KTM is killing this bike in. What's up guys, welcome back to another video. Today's video is going to be a little bit different than the regular riding videos that we usually do. Today we're in the shop because the rain kind of ruined my video idea that I had for this week, but that video should be out next week. Hopefully I get some good weather and hopefully I can film that video. It's going to be really good, I think. But today we're in the shop and I'm going to film a YZ250X review and kind of a bike check and show you guys like everything that's on my bike and what I run and stuff like that. So it should be still good and I'm really excited for it still. But I hope you guys like it and we'll jump right into it. Okay guys, so to start out the video, I'm going to start with a little bit of a review on my bike and what I like and then what I dislike about it. And then towards the end, I'm going to give it a rating out of 10. Okay, so we'll start with the stuff I like, and first being the suspension. Straight from the factory, the stock suspension on this bike is absolutely amazing. Yamaha is known for their good suspension. When I got this bike, I actually raced with stock suspension for probably 3 or 4 races, and it did fine. It's pretty close to what I have it set up with now. I had Terry Brumley in Springfield, Missouri do it at TBT Suspension, but he didn't really change much on it. He just went through it and kind of fine-tuned it for me. But like I said earlier, I raced it and it felt fine and felt good. Okay, so moving on to what it kind of comes with from the factory, and since it's the off-road model, it comes with the 18-inch rear wheel, which is really nice riding in off-road and in the woods. You don't have to worry about pinch flats as much if you run tubes, and it's just got that little more cushion to soak up rocks and roots. So the 18-inch rear wheel's really nice, and then comes with a kickstand, but if you race, I recommend taking that off. But it is really nice, say if you're just going trail riding or going out to Colorado or something. And then also it comes with the wide ratio transmission, which I honestly really like. Some people complain about it, but I actually really like it. And also the suspension is for off-road riding too. It kind of has the off-road package. So like I said earlier, the suspension's really good, and it's set up from the factory really good. Now, kind of last main thing that I want to talk about that I really like is that everybody has parts for these bikes. They've been around since 2006, just like this bike. I know the X hasn't been around since 2006, but the regular YZs have. And so everybody has parts to fit these bikes. The regular YZ parts will fit these bikes and the 125 parts, other than, you know, the big stuff like the motor and pipes and stuff like that. So if you need brake pads, somebody will probably have brake pads, or you know, whatever the case may be, somebody will probably have it at the race, or you know, if you're hanging out with friends or whatever, they're probably going to have a part for this bike. Moving on to the stuff I don't like about this bike. Obviously I ride one, so obviously I like it, but there is a few things that I wish would be a little bit different and that I wish Yamaha would change on this bike. First being is that it doesn't have electric start. I know a lot of people buy KTMs just for this reason, and a lot of people steer away from these bikes just because they don't have electric start. This would be really nice if, you know, you say you got stuck on a hill or something and you don't really have the height or anything to reach down and kick the bike, and you could just press a button and go. The second thing that I really don't like about these bikes is the seat is not very flat. It kind of looks like a banana. Once you get used to it, it's not terrible, and if you have the stock tank on, it makes it a lot better. But with a big tank, it kind of puts it into, like I said, a banana, and you know, you can't go all the way forward on it, and it's just kind of a pain. But like I said, you get used to it, and it's just kind of one of the things that you have to get over, and can't cry about it too much. So but if you have a stock tank, it's so much better. And if you can get away with running a stock tank, I recommend it. It'll make your seat a lot smoother and a lot flatter, so you can get up on the tank. The last thing that the KTM is killing this bike in, and the last thing I don't like about this bike, is the vibration. These bikes vibrate so much, and quite honestly, flex bars should come stock on the Yamahas. I don't know why they vibrate so much. I guess just because they're pretty much a 2006 two-stroke, a really good 2006 two-stroke, but they vibrate so much. And then the KTM has the counterbalancer, so that really puts them ahead with vibration, and those KTMs don't vibrate very much at all. So overall, I'd give this bike a 7 or 8 out of 10, just because the suspension pretty much makes up for everything else that this bike is lacking. The suspension on this thing is incredible, and everybody raves about how good Yamaha suspension is. So just take my word for it, and it's really good, and I really like them. But now let's move on to kind of the bike check, and kind of showing you guys what I have on my bike and why. So we'll just start at the top here, and start with my handlebars. And I run the Fast Company flex bars. Like I said earlier, they really help with the vibration, and then they also kind of work with your suspension to absorb the choppy hits and stuff like that. And then along with the flex bars, I run the Enduro Engineering wraparound guards. They're specially made for the flex bars. As far as grips go, I run the Ori grips, and they're a little bit fluffier than most grips and a little bit bigger, but I really like the soft compound of them. Okay, so moving on to my suspension, I kind of touched on it earlier, I think, but I run TBT suspension from Terry Brumley here in Springfield, Missouri. I gave it to him and told him to set it up for my weight and stuff, and he gave it back to me and said that he changed a little bit of stuff, but it's not too far off from stock when it comes stock, just because I guess I fall into that kind of weight range and stuff from the factory when they set it all up. So Terry Brumley suspension, and then gas tank, I run the Clark, I think it's 3.2 or 3.4 gallon, and then I put a IMS dry brake system on it. Okay, kind of moving on to my seat. I run the Moto seat cover, and then just the stock seat foam. Stock seat foam's always been fine for me. And then I just like a little bit of traction so I don't slide off the rear of the bike if it's muddy, or just helps you stay in place when you're sitting down and stuff. So I run the Moto seat cover. So what's making this thing go round is tires, obviously. As far as tires go, I don't really have too big of a preference on tires, but if I had a choice, I'd run a Dunlop MX33 on the front, and then a Dunlop AT81 on the rear. And the rear is a off-road tire, enduro tire, and then the front is the motocross tire. But I found that's kind of the best combination. I don't like the AT81 front, but I do like the rear. So that's kind of the best combination of tires I've found. Kind of getting back to the middle of this bike, I run the E-Line pipe guard and an FMF pipe and silencer. I run the fatty pipe. It just seems to kind of broaden the power out throughout the whole range. And then the FMF shorty kind of gives it that bottom end hit a little bit that the stock is kind of missing. As far as pegs go, I run the Fast Company impact pegs with the tall inserts, and those are interchangeable. So if you smash them or if they get worn out, you can replace the little inserts and have like brand new pegs. And then for my skid plate, I also run an E-Line skid plate. It's made out of carbon fiber, just like the pipe guard. Going back to the rear, I run a Enduro Engineering shark fin disc guard, whatever you want to call it, for the rear rotor. And that thing has saved my rotors so much. If you're in the rocks, deep ruts, whatever it is, that thing will just bash right through it and get you through it. And then for the chain guide and chain block, I take off the stock one and I put in a Chirby's chain guide on there, and it has the replaceable bottom, so you can replace it once the plastic gets worn out on it. And that makes it really nice, just because you don't have to get a whole new one. You can just get the bottom piece and replace it. Last but not least, for radiator guards, I run the bulletproof radiator guards, and they come in cool anodized colors. And ever since I've had those on there, I've never had a problem with busting radiators or bending them. So, well guys, that does it for my bike check and bike review on my YZ250X. I hope you guys like it, and if you have any other questions, be sure to leave them down in the comments. And if you like this video, be sure to give it a like, and be sure to check out my other videos and consider subscribing. Thanks guys for watching this video, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.